promise.
Those mothers and others have formed what you heard there, the Sandy Hook promise. Meantime, at his news conference today, the president acknowledged an uphill fight in Congress over new gun laws. And joining me live now, Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff of California. Congressman, thank you so very much for your time. We just got word that President Obama is meeting with the vice president, and one day ahead of schedule, they've met their goal, and he has delivered the recommendations from the task force. And the president says he will announce more details later this week. Do you know any more than at least that's been reported in what we heard from the president on what legislation he would like to see specifically pursued?
Well, I'm guessing that what you've been hearing is probably very accurate, and that is that a very high priority will be universal background checks. Most people are under the impression that there's just a loophole for gun shows. The reality is the loophole is much broader than that. Only really retailers are covered by the requirement of background checks. Everyone else is exempt, and this would require background checks with any gun sales, and I think that makes infinite sense. Certainly a ban on ammunition, high-capacity ammunition clips will be part of it. A ban on assault weapons will be part of it. More extensive mental health checks and balances will be part of it. These are all, I think, essential ingredients. And how can you not be moved by what we just heard, by what those mothers just had to say? If that doesn't compel Congress to act, I don't know what can.
But the reality is, and I've had a lot of people email, and I know you've heard this line of question as well, the background checks are important, but a background check would not have prevented the Newtown massacre. That the weapon of choice there by Adam Lanza is where we should be focused first. I want to play with Joe Manchin, West Virginia, as you know, Democrat, but a lifelong member of the NRA, what he said this morning regarding these weapons, the assault rifles.
I don't know anyone in the sporting or hunting arena that goes out with an assault rifle. I don't know anybody that needs 30 rounds in the clip to go hunting.
Assault weapons standalone ban on just guns alone will not, in the political reality that we have today, will not go anywhere.
Forgive me, that was his comment initially, December 17th, about people not needing these kinds of weapons. And you see a transition, if you will. I don't know what the fair way to describe Senator Manchin's stance now, but it does point to the difficulty here when you start talking about these assault weapons, which the president at least has indicated he's still going to move forward with calling on a ban.
Well, and he should. I mean, this is very important. And as I think the president's made clear, there is no single solution that's going to solve all these problems or prevent each and every catastrophe. Yes, for example, the background checks wouldn't have helped in terms of Sandy Hook, but it would help with the hundreds of gun homicides that have taken place since that terrible day. The assault weapons ban and the ban on ammunition clips could help prevent another Sandy Hook. So is it going to be tough? Yes, it's going to be tough. But if there was ever a time to do it, this is it. I think this is a tipping point for the nation. It has to be a tipping point for the Congress as well. If we can't act in the face of this unspeakable tragedy, it really is just an appalling indictment of the Congress and our political system.
If we end up with legislation on background checks alone, could this be called a failure by Congress?
Absolutely. It'll be called a failure by Congress. It should be. The background checks are very important, but they're not the full piece of the puzzle, and there are a lot of components to it, and I think the Vice President will have a very comprehensive proposal for the President today. But no, we should not be satisfied with only one piece of this. It can't be the case that we have to make this the new normal, that these unspeakable tragedies that happen week after week, month after month, become part of the everyday fabric of the country. That's unacceptable. And I think we're going to see a strong effort to keep any defections among Democrats limited and try to win over some of the suburban Republicans in the House and Senate, and we can find that sweet spot where we can get this legislation passed.
Congressman Schiff, thank you so much for your time today. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
And the House